Hello, welcome to the channel Tarot Yogi. I'm Vinit, and today we have another timeless pickacard reading on your Akashic records, the most important information you need about your life purpose from your Akashic records. And even before we begin today's reading, I do have a few announcements to make. I have uploaded the syllabus video for my upcoming courses, my tarot course that starts on 15th May, my witchcraft course that starts on 3rd July, and my astrology course that starts on 3rd October. So if you're interested in learning either or all the courses from me, send me an email or hit me up on my Instagram to get more details. I have also uploaded a syllabus video just before this video. I will also link the syllabus video in the description box below, because a lot of people are hitting me up and asking me what can they learn in all my courses. So I have uploaded a syllabus video for you to get information on. So do check that out if you're interested in learning from me. Also, you can hit me up if you want a personal reading from me. I will very happily read your birth chart as a part of the personal reading. And please do like the video for me, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. It really makes a huge difference. And thank you so much for all the love, all the lovely sweet comments, all the hypes, all the donations. I really appreciate all the love that you guys keep pouring into my life. So thank you. And now let's begin this reading on your Akashic records. What is your life purpose? What are you here to really do in this life? And we have 3 piles to choose from, and I see that you guys are having issues with the pile selection. And honestly, if you cannot decide what pile to watch all 3 piles. Watch all of them, and take what you want from them. Or you can pause the video, take a minute and see what pile is being called to you intuitively. So we have 3 piles to choose from. Pile number 1, we have the Goetic Tarot. Pile number 2, we have Cats Rule the Earth Tarot. And pile number 3, we have our Notoria Angels Tarot of the Light. So take a minute, see what pile is being called to you intuitively. The description box below will have the timestamp for your pile. And again, these are general readings. Take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you like my style of reading, do like the video, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. And if you want to learn tarot, witchcraft, astrology, send me an email. Hit me up if you want a personal reading, and I'll see you guys in your reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose the Goetic Tarot, this is your reading on messages from your Akashic records, your life purpose. What is the purpose of your life? And even before we begin the reading, I do want to announce I will be offering my courses, my tarot course starting 15th May, my witchcraft course starting 3rd of July, and my astrology course starting 3rd of October. And if you're interested in learning either or all the courses from me, hit me up on my email or Instagram to get more details. You can also check out the syllabus video that I have uploaded just before this video. I will also link the syllabus video in the description box below if you're interested in all the courses. You can also hit me up if you want a personal reading from me. I will very happily read your birth chart as a part of the personal reading. And please do like the video for me, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. It really makes a huge difference. And thank you so much for all the love, all the lovely sweet comments. I really appreciate all the love, and I feel super grateful that I get to share my spiritual journey with you guys. So thank you so much for being a part of it. And now let's begin this reading on your life purpose. What can we get from your Akashic records? We got Queen of Swords, and I only got 1 card. I'm getting you have strong Kritika placements, pile number 1. On the Aries side or the Taurus side. You could even have strong Swati placements. And by that what I mean is, your life purpose is a lot to do with cutting through things. You could be an actual chef or something who's into, cooking and chopping up vegetables really finely, but that's just a very superficial expression of what we're talking about over here, because you're supposed to cut through the illusions. You're supposed to cut through the ego, right? What is our ego? We need our ego in the material world where we have to thrive, where we need boundaries, where we need things to, where we have things to collect, right? But in the spiritual context, you do not need an ego, and your ego does not actually serve you. An ego becomes a prison for you, because it is in a way, it is a form of an ignorance, and ignorance causes suffering. And I think ever since you were a kid, pile number 1, You've seen a lot of people suffer. You've seen a lot of people struggle. You've seen a lot of people just repeat painful cycles over and over again for themselves. And you've really had to make yourself question, how do I break this cycle? How do I cut through things? And this cutting energy is not easy. I do think you're put in very, very, very painful situations where you have no choice but to just cut everything and everyone out. So I think most people you will be meeting in this lifetime, pile number one, you will only be giving them things. I don't think they will give you much in return. You could have Venus in the 6th house or Venus in Virgo in the D1 or the D9. Venus could also be in the 1st house for you, but it could be afflicted. That tells us that you're very, very beautiful, and your beauty has a big part to do with your spiritual purpose in this lifetime as well. But you're here to see the truth, and you're here to cut through that. You're here to even break generational patterns. That's why, you're doing all this heavy lifting. And, my shirt is completely wet. It's summer, and I hate summer, even though I'm born in the summer. And it's literally like 40 degrees right now. So I do think that is sort of connected to the reading over here, because what you're also doing is, pile number one, you're burning your karma up. And there is no other way to burn through the karma but to actually go through it. So, you've been thrown into the fire over and over again, and, you've had to get comfortable at these high temperatures. In these very intense situations where you've had no choice but to transform. And transformation doesn't come easy, it does not come naturally. And you've gained a lot of spiritual wisdom, but it has come at a personal cost. And in a way, also, the more you empty yourself out, the more you cut away your attachments, whether it is to people, things, places. And as I said, that tripod came. And he's become my biggest attachment these days. I cannot believe it, because I don't even like dogs. And he's just licking his mouth. I will feed him. So I do think you're also meant to come across people like tripod in your life, pile number one, where, unseemingly, people become an integral part of your existence. And in a way, you are a mirror to people, because when you're shown the truth of things, when you're meant to experience the duality of things, you experience for what it is. And you do not see duality as duality. You do not see good versus bad. You do not see good or bad. You see good and bad. You understand that polarity is not opposites, but it's twins. And that's what you're here to experience. You're here to experience the full scope of existence, which is heaven and hell, right on this earth. So very extreme experiences you've had, pile number one. I don't even think people would believe the things you've gone through. And I do think you are the kind of person who likes to keep things to themselves. And I think better so, because what I have also realized is, no matter how much you love someone, if they're not at your consciousness, they will not be able to understand you. And again, it's scientifically proven that not two people cognize the same way. So our cognitions are different. So the way we are perceiving things, the way we are perceiving reality is completely different. So, you'll be forced to be in places where you come across such people who are your mirror opposites, and they reflect something very, very deep within you that you have to heal. So there's a lot of pushing through, and there's a lot of just excruciatingly painful transformations. That's what I'm seeing for you, pile number one. And that is where the abundance is coming from. That is where the joy is coming from. In a way, you cutting yourself out from everything and everyone is connecting you to everything and everyone at a higher cosmic level. And this is what you're here to experience, pile number one. And we got 9 of Swords. Again, it's cruelty. Reminds me of the Thoth Tarot, which is Mars and Gemini. You have a sharp intellect, you have a sharp wit, pile number one. And you're meant to use it. Again, there's this sharpness connotation, I'm seeing the sword. I'm seeing, cutting through things. And I don't even think you can tolerate people telling you long stories, I think you're very much like me in the way where, you're very direct, and, you make your points in a concise way. You don't need to have a 3-hour video to give a message to people, right? It's not about the minutes, but it's about the impact. And I think you understand that really, really well. And in a way, you are a reckoning to people, you know, just like how you go through these very extreme transformations. That's the purpose you serve in other people's lives as well. You help them transform. You help them look into deeper regions of themselves that they have never even acknowledged within themselves. So you force people to look deeper into themselves, and not everyone is comfortable looking into the deep darkness for a long period of time, pile number one. You'll be surprised most people are not. Most people run from this. Even a lot of my spiritual peers I have seen, they run from an ego death. No one wants to dissolve the ego, right? And that's why the hangman comes before the death in the tarot, card number 12 before card number 13. You can give up everything. You can give up your land, you can give up your home, you can give up your love, you can give up your clothes, you can give up your food, you can give up your water. But can you give yourself up? And only when we do that, do we actually become who we actually are. Because we are letting go of all the conditioning, all the painful experiences, and we realize that despite all the things that have harmed us, there's a part of us that is pure, no matter what your physical body or your 3D self has experienced, or your mind has experienced, pile number one. And you're here to realize this about yourself at a very deep level, and you're also here to help other people see this. So definitely my psychic switches, my tarot readers, even if you're not these things, you have that ability to deeply perceive. And just yesterday, I was reading about the owl symbolism. I'm getting a lot of owls for you. And this very fluffy owl modern symbolism is not what the owls symbolized. The ability to see in the dark is a gift. And it was not always seen as a gift, because you're looking at things that people have not seen within themselves, and how uncomfortable that might make them. And you live in your truth, but you also force people to live in their truth, whether they like it or not, pile number one. So obviously people are going to bash you, people are going to crucify you, but it's your divine mission, it's your soul purpose, it's what you're here to do. Wow, we got King of Swords, and I've only pulled 3 cards, and they're all swords. King of Swords, you already know the truth. You already know the truth. You could even be born under the Asuric Nakshatras, because I'm using the Goetic tarot deck. We have Asmodai, and we have Barbatos, and we have Shax. These are the Goetic demons that came out for you. And I think Asmodai is one of the royal princes of the underworld. I think strategy is very, very important, and you have to use your foresight to very strategically blow up your opponents, pile number one. There has to be like a precision strike at your end. That's what I'm getting with the Knight of Swords. You don't need to use brute strength. You don't need to have 10,000 people in your army. You one alone are enough to lay a deadly blow on a whole army. You alone can lay siege to the whole city. That's what I'm getting, pile number one. Your video got cut, and that's what I'm saying. You have a lot of distractions, but things have to be done, and you know how to do it. And my best friend said this to me yesterday, and I think he's very, very right. And he was trying to clock. I don't think he was trying to clock me. He was just saying the truth that I do like being more comfortable in chaos, and I don't think he was wrong at all. Because let's face it, it's human nature to be lazy. It's human nature to be complacent and be comfortable. But we all have to be made very, very uncomfortable. And sometimes, we had to create chaos in our own lives, right? To transform. So know that there's a method to your madness, pile number one, and maybe you're built for the chaos. Maybe you have the natural immunity to the poisons that lay in the abyss that you traverse so deeply. And the abyss on the tree of life, on the Kabbalistic tree of life, goes from Kether to So it goes from Tiferet to Kether. So it's the middle pillar, and it's the straight path, from the sun to the soul. So you are at a higher spiritual level. And you're here to feel things deeply. You're here to feel everything at its deepest core. And not to understand it as opposites, but to understand it as sort of, being like a twin experience. Despite all this harshness that you've had to experience, it has given you an impeccable intuition, and it has given you wings. It has given you wings, pile number one. And I'm seeing wings of a butterfly. And I think that's a song too. So you're here to transform into being the best version of yourself. I'm not sure what bird this is, but on the Three of Wands, we have a bird that very much looks like an owl to me. It's not focusing, but it sort of looks like an owl to me. And I just spoke about the vision of the owls. So all this hard work is going to pay off. All of this sacrifice is going to pay off. And you're here to create your legacy. You're not just here for all spiritual woo-woo. You're not just here for all spiritual woo-woo. You're here to create something that lasts. Something that helps people. You're here to help people too, pile number one. And isn't this crazy? This is so crazy. The card I pulled is Eight of Swords, and what do we have over here? We have an enlarged owl. Isn't this crazy? I'm so right. I'm so right. You have the ability to see, pile number one, and having the power to see, it's, you have to be comfortable with things within people that they don't even know exists within them. That is also affecting their whole life and messing it up, but they're not able to see it. And you have to let people come to their own conclusions at their own time, whether it's in this lifetime or the next or the next. So you're being trained by the owls to become who you truly are, and to know your truth, to know your power, to stand in that very firmly. And very interesting, Eight of Swords, this owl, well, he's sort of like a chimera owl, and we have Amon. He has the body of an owl and legs of a lion, and he has the tail of a snake, and he has all these swords attacking him. So even if you have so many enemies, you could have a strong 6th house. You're still your biggest enemy, pile number one. Yet you are your biggest victor too. If you overcome yourself, if you overcome your own darkness, you will be able to overcome the darkness in other people and therefore triumph. So you have chosen a very complex path. And you are a very complex person in the most beautiful way possible. But what you are doing, not a lot of souls can do on this earth. And not a lot of souls are doing on earth right now. You're taking everyone's mistakes and making it into a beautiful palace. Hats off to you for doing this. It's not something you could be able to do if you were not meant to do. If you were not created to do this, pile number one. So understand that deeply about your soul purpose. We'll use the Kali Oracle and see what messages does Ma have for us. Okay, we got the Khadga. And Khadga basically means this sort of a mini scythe that Ma Kali uses to decapitate the skulls. Why is she decapitating skulls? Because we spoke about how your ego is a form of an ignorance that causes you suffering because you think you are what you are not. And to enter this initiatory path for yourself, what needs to be given is the sacrifice of your own self. And the more you keep sacrificing yourself, the more you'll actually be coming into who you actually are. Isn't that the paradox over here, pile number 1? And we have Droma Nagmo, which is a Tibetan form of Ma Kali. And we have a lot of fierce Tibetan tantric deities, and they play a very important, significant role. And they're not supposed to be scary, but they're wrathful because, you know, we get so stuck in our samsaric seas, we get so stuck in our human lives, and we are in those very intense situations that we need liberation from. And that's when we need a deity that also has that nature, that wrathful nature, and that wrathful nature is compassionate. The deities are wrathful to liberate us. So it's compassionate wrathfulness that you see on these lot of angry goddesses or gods in paintings. That's what they signify. So work with the intensity of your life. You're not here for the bubblegum life. You're not here for a very sattvic sort of a chill life. Pile number 1. You're here to dibble dabble into the darkness. And it's your true nature. You cannot run from it. No matter how much you run from it, it is meant for you to experience. And world soul, that's what I'm saying. You know, you're here to awaken and see. Again, you know, here we have her eyes, her third eye open. You know, she's taken both the opposites and she's merged it into one beautiful thing. And she's experiencing both the darkness and the light, not as two opposites, but as, you know, a different flavor of the same phenomena. And that's why she's lost in this deep ecstatic union. And again, you know, she has these sort of little clay babies as her earrings. So you're always taken care of and you're always loved, and you always have a higher deity protecting you, guiding you, showing you the way, pile number 1. Don't ever underestimate this about yourself. Yeah. That's all I have. Again, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. If you like my style of reading, please like the video, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. If you're interested in learning tarot, astrology, witchcraft, if you're interested in getting a personal reading from me, hit me up and I'll read your birth chart as a part of the reading, and I'll see you guys in the next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 2. If you chose Cats Rule the Earth Tarot, this is your reading on your Akashic records. What is your life purpose? We'll be getting that download. And even before we begin today's reading, I do want to announce I will be offering my tarot course starting 15th of May, my witchcraft course starting 3rd of July, and my astrology course starting 3rd of October. So if you're interested in learning either or all the arts from me, send me an email or hit me up on my Instagram to get more details. I have also uploaded a syllabus video just before uploading this video, so do check that out. I will also leave the link for the syllabus video for all the courses in the description box below, so check that out if you're interested in learning. I have a lot of people hitting me up asking me about the syllabus, so I've put one video which explains the syllabus for all the courses, so you can check that out. You can also hit me up if you want a personal reading from me. I will very happily read your birth chart as a part of the personal reading. And please do like the video for me, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. It really makes a huge difference. And thank you so much for all the love, all the lovely sweet comments. I genuinely feel grateful for all the love and all the donations and all the support that you guys have continuously given me. So I feel super grateful that I get to do this and share my spiritual journey with you guys. So thank you so much for being a part of it. And now let's begin this reading on what is your life purpose. Wow, we have the World card, 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, and we have 2 of Swords. You could have Saturn in the 1st house, Saturn in the 5th house, Saturn in the 6th house. Saturn is very, very prominent, but I'm getting Saturn in the 1st house, either in your D1 or your D9. And, you know, Saturn in the 1st house is not the ideal placement. You know, you have to put a lot of efforts into yourself, and you know, you've had to constantly put a lot of efforts into yourself, and that has been a big part of your life purpose, and it's going to be a life purpose throughout, you know, till the time you pass on, pile number 2. So working on yourself, working on your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, your spiritual body, building that up, strengthening that is a huge part of your life purpose. And You could also have Rahu in the 4th house, Rahu in the 7th house, Rahu in the 1st house, or Rahu in the 10th house. Rahu Ketu is definitely in the axis for you, either in the D1 or the D9. Even D10 I'm seeing. So for a lot of y'all, you're meant to experience love, you're meant to experience wealth, you're meant to experience emotional fulfillment. You're here to have, in a way, a codependency. You know, sometimes you look at certain people's charts, they're supposed to be emotionally codependent on each other, and that is the karma. So not everyone can be, completely, independent. But I do think your birth chart, you're meant to learn a lot through other people and relationships. So I do think that is a big part of your birth chart. You could even have Sun in the 7th house. So relationships are very, very important. You could also look really, really beautiful if you're a woman, or really handsome if you're a guy. There's something very striking about your beauty, something people notice very, very easily. Beautiful jawline, beautiful sharp features. Definitely seeing that. You're here to experience a lot of patience and growing properly with time. Taking the time to learn and grow properly. So I do think there are a lot of hurdles. I think you've had a lot of career breaks. I don't think you've had the support for the kind of career you want, but trust me, you will still thrive in that career despite people not believing in you. And let me tell you, pile number 2, no one believed in my abilities, and I did not need people to believe in my abilities. As long as I believed in my abilities, I knew I could do this on my own, and I needed to do this on my own. So I think you're like that. You are the brand, you are the face of the brand, but you are also the brand, and you have to be like a self-sustaining mechanism that is an island unto themselves, and yet have a synchronistic, symbiotic relationship with the people around you, where you nurture each other, love each other, and not have ego clashes and dominance and a lot of fights, because I do think that has been also a big part of your life journey. And I know a lot of y'all are old, a lot of y'all have given up on love, and a lot of y'all are very anti-love. I get it. I see the sentiments in the comment section. I do feel you guys. But I do see Ten of Cups. So you will find a happily ever after. Your version of a happily ever after. You will find a person that fits you, even if you are a complex person, even if you are someone with a lot of layers that are very hidden away from the world. You will meet someone who will be able to see you for who you are truly and love you for who you are without any say so, unconditional love you're supposed to get from a person that you will end up with. And might I say, you will have a family and a child here as well. And I think your biggest enemy is your indecisiveness, because I do think you choose diplomacy oftentimes, but that does not always work out for you. So being indecisive, being stuck, not making an action is also you making an action and a choice. So be more proactive in taking action for yourself and doing things for yourself instead of leaving things on the last minute over here, pile number 2. I think that's another important message for you. I think right now you need to be a little shrewd with your expenses. You definitely need to be a little cautious with your spendings. You don't have to invest your money into stupid things right now. You save your coin for something better. I do think soon you will have something beautiful and better to invest in. So that is another message. 5 of Swords. I do think a lot of people fight you, a lot of people get in the way, a lot of people just have a problem with you, even if you're just simply existing. But again, you are so authentically yourself that everyone who's so very inauthentic around you, they will get mad and they'll get pissed and they'll get triggered without you even saying anything. And even if you're trying to make friends, and even if you're trying to have empathy and compassion for people, people hate you regardless. And yet, you have been a big agent in changing them for the better, even if they cannot see it and even if they're not grateful for it. Pile number 2, that's a big part of your life's purpose as well. So I don't think people understand you. People don't really see you for who you are. People don't actually know who you are. It's all projections, right? And you've had to constantly walk away over and over again from all these patterns and people and all these things that are bringing you down. But your superpower is the fact that you always listen to your heart, and you know that your heart always speaks the truth, and you don't take a long time to get used to the truth. You know the truth and you roll with it. You don't waste a lot of time in just thinking things were different or wasting time in boredom. You make things happen for yourself regardless of what the situation is. Pile number 2. I think you handle the heat really well with the Sun card. And it's summer here, and I'm just so over summer. But you handle the heat well, and you have a greater sense of tolerance of things. pile number 2. You really have a great sense of tolerance of things, and what you can handle, not anyone can handle. Pile number 2. And that is also a superpower God has given you, so you can deal with a lot of the heavy karma that you've collected over the lifetimes. So a lot of y'all are old souls here to burn through the karma. You could even have a connection to darkness, demons. You could be also born under the Asuric Nakshatras, or you could have prominent Asuric Nakshatras in your birth chart. Check your Vedic birth chart. Page of Swords, yeah. You're a perpetual student. You're here to learn from life constantly, what life has to teach you over and over again. So the more you remain a perpetual novice, the more you remain a student, you'll gradually go to being a teacher. And I think you're a natural teacher. You could have Jupiter at a higher degree, or Jupiter is the highest degree in your birth chart, which means that it's your Atma Karak, it's the liberator of your soul in this lifetime. You will be naturally teaching people things. Even if you're not trying to teach people, people will naturally come to you for advice, and you will be giving them the advice that they need to resolve the situation. So you have that Guru energy within you, pile number 2. You are a natural teacher. Yeah, Hierophant. So the Hierophant is the bridge between the divine and the humans. You are that bridge between people and the divine, pile number 2. You have a very big role to play in a lot of people's lives. And you see how he has his little magic book open, his little book of spells. How cute is that? Just love this deck. So you have that within you. You know, you are like a magician, witch, and that is also a big part of your spiritual journey. And just see, it's not just, yes, you know, you can learn these things to go deeper into your spirituality, but you can also learn these things at a superficial level, at least even if you want to begin, you know, like your entry point. And why not use magic to improve your life? You know, you're absolutely supposed to use magic to improve your life and take care of your basic needs, you know. You don't have to depend on anyone to do that. So you're here to learn partnerships, the way it needs to be done, and equal give and take. You're learning how to equally give and equally take, so you know the synergy can be maintained for an eternity. You're learning how to give and take equally, pile number 2. Strong Libra placements. You could have a lot of planets in the 7th house in the sign of Libra. You could even have Libra in the 1st house or the 7th house. That's also something that I'm seeing. The more disappointed you are with things and people, the more you walk away from things and people, the happier you will be, pile number 2. And I do think, pile number 2, you particularly, you're meant to experience a lot of friends, a lot of lovers, a lot of relationships. You're not meant to have like one partner and be with them forever, you know. So if that is the case with you and you feel like, you know, none of your relationships or friendships last, it's a good sign. You know, you've just had so many across lifetimes that you're here to clear your karma with all of them. And sometimes it's short and sweet, you know. Sometimes people are just in your life for a season, and that is that. But you know, you've done your work with them, so you have nothing to worry in that context. And if you get lost, if you get bored, you just have to come back to why you're doing what you're doing in the first place and enjoying your craft, enjoying what you do. That is the most important lesson for you over here, pile number 2 with the Page of Pentacles. You're also here to create something beautiful for yourself with all the gifts, all the abilities that you have. You're here to create something wonderful. And she sort of looks like a Siamese cat. So you have a Siamese twin, pile number 2, and your twin is not your soulmate. People think your divine twin is your soulmate. Your divine twin is your own soul, you know. So yeah, something about heartbreaks, you know, the more heartbreaks you go through, I feel your life will only improve. And I know it's very painful, but it's actually good for you. Heartbreaks are good for you, and it'll lead you into your 10 of Pentacles. So I do think you will eventually settle with someone, but you'll be richy rich by the time that happens. So all of this is only happening for you to evolve your soul, and soul doesn't evolve, consciousness doesn't evolve, right? Growing up is painful, right? Our body's changing, all of that it takes a toll, right? So I feel it's sort of the toll that is taken on your soul right now, but then soon, once you finish your transformation, you'll realize that There's a part of you that has always stayed pure regardless of what you have experienced. And yet you have come home to yourself in a way like you have never done before. Pile number 2. We'll shuffle the card oracle and see any messages Spirit wants to give us. You got Shodashi, and she is the 16-year-old version of Ma Lalita Tripura Sundari. So, you know, it's this very young energy, it's this robust energy, and she's all red. Well, I can't really show this, but, you know, she's a red goddess. So you're filled with desire, you're filled with energy, and you need to create. So this is the goddess of beauty, this is the goddess of divine beauty. Your soul is very beautiful. Doesn't matter how you look, pile number 2. You're extremely beautiful, extremely gorgeous, extremely beautiful. And you're here to go through the samsaras of life. You could have a lot of planets in your karma houses. You're here to experience desire and the depth of desire. And those houses are the 3rd house, the 7th house, and the 11th house. And in the birth chart, it creates a downward facing triangle because our desires lead us to our eventual demise. And again, this is complex because desire is also what is sort of like an initiation into knowing ourselves truly. So even this demonization of desire that has come from like all these sterile monastic practices was not always the case because, you know, we've always had something like Tantra exist. So even though desire is something that is seen as demonic, it is not. It is the very essence of our existence. If there was no desire, we would not exist. So think about it deeply. Think about all the taboo things that you're into. Think about all the things that call to you that shouldn't. And inquire deeper into yourself because you're here to explore those deep, dark themes within your own life. Pile number 2. And I do think that is a big part of your life's purpose and what you're here to do. Kundalini Shakti. You're here to raise your consciousness and raise it from the depths of the darkness. And I'm seeing a dragon for you. And dragon symbolism is very beautiful because it's a snake becoming, you know, a creature that can take flight. You know, a dove is always symbolic of heaven because, you know, a white dove comes from the above. But a snake evolves and rises to the ranks of being a dragon. And it takes flight from the underworld into the heavens. And you're the dragon, pile number 2. That's what you have to realize about yourself. You are a dragon breathing fire and you're here to shake things up. You're here to experience the joy and the extremeness that is our existence. All of it. You're here to take it all the experiences, good and bad, and see it as one. That's your life purpose. I don't think you'll have attachments at the last moment of your life. Therefore, you will be liberated in this lifetime, pile number 2. And you're very blessed. Let me tell you, even if you've experienced a lot of difficult things, you're extremely blessed, pile number 2. You'll always be taken care of, even if you feel you have no one, you know. There's always God with you, protecting you, showing you the way, leading the charge. And you'll be seeing a lot of synchronicity, so pay attention to that. That will also help you a lot on your journey. Go inwards. You'll not find the answers. You'll not find the answers outside. You'll find it inside yourself. Yeah. So self-inquiry, knowing yourself, is a big part of your life's purpose in this lifetime. And learning how to exist with the other because you know yourself. So partnerships are very, very important. Pile number 2. Yeah, that's all I have against a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest of you. Like my style of reading, do like the video, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. If you're interested in learning tarot, astrology, witchcraft, if you want a personal reading, hit me up. I'll happily read your birth chart and I'll see you guys in the next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose the Notoria Tarot of the Light, this is your reading on your life purpose from your Akashic records. And even before we begin today's reading, I do want to announce I'll be offering my tarot course on 15th May, my witchcraft course on 3rd July, and my astrology course on 3rd October. So if you're interested in learning either or all the arts from me, send me an email or hit me up on my Instagram to get more details. You can do the same if you want a personal reading from me. I will very happily read your birth chart as a part of the personal reading, and Please do like the video for me, share, subscribe, comment. Please have the video for me 3 times. It really makes a huge difference. And thank you so much for all the love, all the lovely, sweet comments. I genuinely feel grateful that I get to share my spiritual journey with you guys. And just thank you so much for all the donations, all the love, all the comments. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you. And now let's begin this reading on your life purpose. Okay, pile number 3, we have 3 cards for you. We have the Queen of Pentacles, we have the 10 of Cups, and we have the High Priestess. Very feminine energy. Even if you're a guy, you're very much here to embody the feminine traits. You're here to embody the feminine traits in a way where you're the nurturer, the protector, the guardian. You're meant to take care of people, you're meant to love people, you're meant to grow a beautiful bounty harvest in the middle of a famine. That's a superpower that you have. You're here to fill the empty bellies of millions. Pile number 3. Whether it is with food, whether it is with spiritual food, whatever it is, you're here to nourish people, you're here to nourish souls. That is a big part of your life's purpose. We have Queen of Pentacles, so you have that motherly energy. Even if you're like a guy watching this, trust me, you have that enterprising nature where you're not selfish. You know, you take care of everyone and you grow with everyone. So you can make that happen in a very magical way. And you can make it happen in a very effortless, magical way. Pile number 3. You're here for emotional fulfillment of yourself. And your emotional fulfillment will only come once you take care of others. Once you take care of people who cannot take care of themselves, whether it is animals, plants, birds, you really have that sort of a Cinderella effect on people. You know, like all the birds are chirping around you, all the animals are chirping around you. You know, even the wild animals in a way would domesticate themselves in front of you. Pile number 3. You just have that effect on people. We also have the High Priestess, so being intuitive is a big part of your spiritual journey. You're definitely meant to be intuitive in this lifetime. You're definitely meant to study the psychic realms. You're here to do your psychic studies. You're here to grow as a psychic. As a lot of you could be tarot readers, astrologers, shamans, witches. There's a whole shenanigans, the whole bunch over here. The whole coven is here. So the more you study, the more you learn, the more you teach, the more knowledge you give, the more you help people, the more you download things from the heavens, you know, the better you will be able to help others and yourself. You're definitely here to learn, teach, grow, make other people grow with you. You're here to give. You're really here to give to the masses. And you're here to give knowledge, you're here to give your expertise. I do think you bring a lot of gifts and talents from your past life. You've gained a lot of good karma in your past life, pile number 3, and you're here to sort of cash in on that, but also create more good karma for yourself, for your own future self. So definitely an old soul, definitely someone who has been on the planet many, many times. You've learned your lessons and you're here to teach others. In a way, you're giving me strong Bodhisattva energy. You're King of Cups. You've had to show emotional restraint even when you didn't want to. You've had to be the mature person even when you didn't want to. You know, you had to even parent your own parents when, you know, you were a child. So again, this is not easy stuff, right? This is very excruciatingly painful experiences, but it has made you divinely wise. It has made you so spiritually powerful that even if you have a lot of people constantly attacking you, even if people are misunderstanding you, even if people are pulling you apart, I'm seeing like a hyena, like a pack of hyenas just attacking a deer, but the deer is not being attacked because it has that divine protection, and you have awakened that divine protection within yourself. That's why, you know, you can be in a den of lions and you can still walk out alive. Pile number 3. So you have that much faith in your divinity and in your spiritual practices. That's why, you know, being thrown into the fire again and again, it has not changed you. It has not transformed you in any sort of a way, but for the good. So the more painful experiences you've had, the more disappointing experiences you've had, you're here to sort of trailblaze through that and transform yourself and others. Again, I'm getting a strong motherly energy. You know, it's like I'm seeing like a mother kangaroo having her baby kangaroo in her pocket. And you know, I feel you are the mother kangaroo even if you are younger. Pile number 3. It's just how it is for you. Your soul is very, very ancient. 5 of Wands, 5 of Cups, Ace of Swords. You're here to liberate people. even from their own selfish ignorance. You're really here to liberate people from even what they don't know is better for them. So you're here to challenge. You're here to challenge, and especially in love. I think even your love life has been very, very explosive. Rahu could be in the 5th house for you, or Rahu could be in Leo. You know, you could have a Sun Rahu conjunction in your birth chart. But again, you are a king. And you have been a king in many, many lifetimes. But this lifetime, you're meant to be a kingmaker. You could have Sun in the 12th house as well. Sun could be in the 12th house with Rahu, or Rahu could be in the 12th house. I think a lot of y'all are like prophets, and prophets are never respected in their own lands. You'll only be respected in faraway lands. Pile number 3. And you getting to the faraway lands is a big part of your own spiritual journey and your own initiation that, you know, you will be going through. So all of this is very destined for you. Your life purpose feels very set in stone, might I say. And that's not a bad thing. And we got justice. I don't think I can show that. So again, you have that foresight, you know, and you need to use your foresight, because see, once you get a revelation, you cannot go back, right? Pile number 3. Once you know what you know, you cannot go back to how comfortable things were, because, you know, everything is poison and everything is laced with poison, right? That is what most people think is happiness. That is what most people think is happiness, but it's not, you know. So you're here to learn the true meaning of happiness, contentment. You're here to learn the true meaning of existence and to be able to see it clearly for yourself. So you get to decide whether you want to repeat it or not, right? There's a lot of freedom being granted to you in this lifetime because of all the work that you have done, all the good karma that you have, you know, sort of stockpiled onto yourself from previous lifetimes and this lifetime. I think you will be able to cash in on all that good karma. And I don't even think you need to learn much. I think you just have to relearn and re-remember what you have already learned before. Pile number 3. So that is also something you have to do in a very major way. And in a way, you helping people, you giving others everything that you have to give, that is what is going to give you the opportunities for your own personal gain. So your personal gain will only happen in a very philanthropical way where you're taking care of people. And only when you take care of everyone else will you be taken care of. Your Ketu could be in Capricorn or in the 10th house. I'm telling you, you have to move away from your hometown. The place of your birth, the farther you are, the better it is. And trust me, this rite of passage that you have, this transitional phase where things are intense, but they're not always going to be this way. But this is leading you to a better future that is needed for you. I'm sort of seeing a portal that you're entering. But you have divine protection in this portal that you're entering. And I think this portal you'll be entering many, many times in this life, and you've entered this portal many, many times even in your past life. So this constant portal entering that you're doing, you know, in a way your body, your soul is, you know, it can take on the spiritual energies. You could also be very susceptible to spiritual energies, I feel. And the more you put yourself through this portal, the more your energies are being amplified. Because it's not just a portal, it's also sort of like a mirror. That's what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. Pile number 3. And again, you know, the beautiful Temperance card, what is she doing? She's nurturing the 2 children. You are this angel here to nurture even old souls, because you are a much more ancient soul. So this is a life of sacrifice, but it is in the sacrifice that you will gain everything that you have to gain. Pile number 3. And once you accept this difficult lesson, you will be free. You will be so free from everything, everyone. You will never be able to be held down. So please know this about yourself and know what you're truly here to do. And once you tap into this crazy high priestess energy, look at her. Look at this divine high priestess. You are like a high level magician, witch, priest, priestess, shaman. You are that. And you can hear the morning crows. It's almost, sun might come out any minute now. So, you know, it is darkest before the dawn, right? Pile number 3. And you have that ability. You're a lighthouse onto yourself and to, you know, you're a beacon of light to everyone else around you. Wow, we got Ma Matangi for you. Beautiful. And she's very much connected to the energy of the sun, and she's connected to the northeast direction. And she's the goddess of spoken word. It's the word that is already traveling in the air. So your words are very important. Your voice is very important. It's very impactful on a lot of people. There's a lot of beauty through your voice. And again, Matangi, she's a witch. She's a supreme witch. So you have to use your witchy abilities. Maybe you're connected to Matangi. Maybe you need to get into Matangi practice. Even if you're having difficulty with your speech, get into Matangi sadhana. It will really help you with your speech, your oratory skills, your magnetic attraction, your pull, all those things. She's the goddess of. And you're here to learn again. That learning energy is there because, she has the parrots with hers. And she usually has two parrots and they both recite the Vedas. They're reciting the Vedas back to her. And that is the symbolism over here. You could even wear a lot of green. Wearing green would really, really help you channel the Matangi energy. You're here to even affect kids in a lot of ways. You're here to help the young souls, I feel. Children, you could even eventually work with children. I'm getting strong Rahu in the 5th house of Rahu in Leo for you. You will even have a kid over here, even if it is through IVF or surrogacy, or even if you have difficulty in your pregnancy. Trust me, pile number 3, you're going to have a child, and you have a very karmic relationship with your child, and you're meant to balance that karma in this life. You're supposed to take care of your own baby once you take care of a lot of other people. So it's, it's sort of like, you're sort of like a, what's the word for it? Like I'm getting the women who help other women deliver. There's a specific word for it, but I'm not able to remember. It's some type of a maid woman. So you have that ability within yourself. You help other women through their birthing journeys. And the birthing is not just literal, it's also spiritual. That's what you're doing. And that's where your abundance is. Your abundance is in your powers. Trust me, if you try to, even if you have like a normal 9-to-5 job and you get all the fanciest degrees from the best places, you will still not be happy and you will not even enjoy that kind of job. The real abundance that you're going to make for yourself, the real money that you're going to make for yourself is going to come through your gifts and through your powers. It's going to come through, you learning to channel your own energy, not by you being a part of an enterprise, because you are the enterprise yourself, by number 3. And that is what you're here to realize about yourself. The day you realize this, you will be free. I think that is a very clear message over here. And that's all I have. Again, for pile number 3, such a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. If you like my style of reading, do like the video. Share, subscribe, comment. If you're interested in learning tarot, witchcraft, astrology, if you're interested in getting a personal reading, hit me up and I'll see you guys in the next reading. Thank you.